Good morning, Jason.
Morning.
So, for anyone watching, I'm Sharmi, and I am the clinical director of Stepping Stone Psychology. And I randomly, by coincidence, met Jason. I was just looking through Facebook, and I saw one of his posts, and I was really impressed by the work he does. Really big advocate for men's mental health. So I've invited him over to have a conversation with me today to talk about the great work he does. So, Jason, when you're ready, you can just introduce yourself and tell a little bit about what you do.
My name's Jason Colley. So I'm what's known as the Nantan for F3 in South Yorkshire. So we've only got one location in South Yorkshire at the moment. And what we do is we meet up every Monday and Friday, and we work out in the morning, 6 a.m. We do exercise, and then we have a little chat over coffee at the end of it. Um, there's normally a sort of specific process that we go through. And yeah, it's every now and again as well. We have what we call the 30/30s, where you do 30 minutes of exercise and 30 minutes of a led discussion.
Mm,
And so that gives sort of men the opportunity to compare notes with each other and talk to each other in a more honest way than you would perhaps get in any other environment.
yeah. So what would you say F3 is? Like, what's different about it than, what's out there for men?
Well, the F3 it has a mission, and the mission is to plant, grow, and serve small workout groups of men,
Mm,
um, and try and engage them in community leadership.
okay.
Um, so I don't know. In my location, in my context, a lot of the community leadership is done by women, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing.
Mm,
It's a really good thing that people are getting, but there's the men kind of tend to kind of sit back from
yeah.
community activities.
Yeah.
So what we want to do is we want to part of what we want to do is help men gain the confidence to step up and do things that they want to do. So I've got a
Mm,
young man in mind. He wants to set up a mixed exercise group
yeah.
for men and women. So I'm
Mm,
like, great.
yeah.
Come to our session, find
Yeah.
out what we do, and then go and set up your own thing. I'll help you. And
Yeah.
then if
Yeah.
if it fails, you can fall back on us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and we'll help encourage you.
Yeah.
So F3 is quite fluid in the way things are done. So that's led to it spreading all over the world. But there
Okay.
are there are five core values that have to remain in place. So it's always free, it's always outdoors, open to all men,
Mm,
rotating leadership, and it ends with what we call the circle of trust, which
yeah.
is just a place where we can talk and it won't
Mm,
leave that circle essentially.
yeah. And you mentioned free, so that I guess that means like people don't have to pay for it, and that might be reassuring for someone who might, want to engage in exercise or some sort of social connection, but maybe financial barriers, what's getting in the way.
Yeah, so there's no financial barriers at all. That's
Mm,
why I wanted to set up here. I mean, a
yeah.
lot of the successful locations are in kind of suburbs, kind of if I wanted to do it the easy way, I would have just set
Yeah.
up in the west of Sheffield. But
Okay.
I've set up in Shirecliffe, which is one of the most deprived areas in the
Right.
city,
Yeah.
because of that free element, and that
Mm,
it
mm.
is free and there's a low barrier to entry.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Like making it more accessible basically for the community.
Yeah, and because of the location as well,
Yeah.
there's a lot of opportunity to engage lots of different type of people
Mm,
because you've
mm.
got Kelham Island, which is kind of middle class, kind of gentrified area just
Okay.
down the hill. You've got Burngreave, which has a lot of Slovakians and Asian people.
Okay.
And then you've got kind of down the road, you've got Shirecliffe and Southie
Right.
Green, Longley, which is mostly white working class people.
Okay.
So we've got the opportunity to bring lots of different kinds
Yes.
of people
Mm,
together.
yeah. So, so is that where you meet, or are there other areas where you meet?
So in Sheffield, we just meet at Shirecliffe at the moment.
Okay.
I did meet a guy who wanted to get started with us, but he was a little bit nervous. So I says,
Mm,
right, well, we'll come to you. So
yeah.
we went over to Shire Green and we did a session with him on Shire Green. He was
Yeah.
really comfortable with it and the other people after that. So now he comes over to Shirecliffe.
Okay, so
Um,
just for me to clarify, so that's more like if somebody's anxious, you meet up with them more like on a one-to-one basis before introducing them to like more the wider group, so to speak.
yeah, I'll give
Yes.
people exactly what they need. I
Yeah.
mean, the one lad I'm talking about, the first we were chatting on message first,
Mm,
and I messaged him and I said to him, look, come along, because his sister put her onto me
mm,
because I knew his sister from school, and I said let's meet up face to face because I believe in face to face,
yeah.
um, and I said let's meet face to face, and he said okay. And then he didn't end up turning up because he got nervous. I'm like, look, that's fine. It's fine. Failure is
Yeah.
an essential ingredient in success.
Yeah.
Ask your sister about me, yeah, and then come back to me when you're ready. So 4 days later, he says let's meet up. So we met up 4 days later, and that's when we start. He came to trust me,
Yeah.
and that's when I said, oh, let's meet up with the other guys, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
we built that trust.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, he's coming to all our sessions now.
That's amazing, and I love what you just shared there. And I think that is that sort of gradual exposure, but also trust. And anybody watching, like most people who who follow my page, there are people who have experienced complex multiple traumas. So
Mm,
trust is a trust is a big thing. It's probably one of the biggest fear for them. So I
mm.
think just that what you just shared there, I'm sure it's really reassuring for people to hear, like how much you value that, and make sure that there is that sort of foundation of trust in place.
Yeah, I mean, well, the exercise allows us to form bonds really quickly,
Yeah.
because we're coming together. And I mean, firstly, getting out of bed at 6 a.m. in the morning is it's
Mm.
enough reason to,
Yeah.
you've got you've all shared there. You're all tired,
Mm.
and
Yes.
then you're all coming and doing these really hard things together. Um, and I think a lot of people go through life feeling as if no one will help them if they get
Yeah.
into a bad situation.
Sure.
Um, with F3, I know that if I faint, there'll be someone to pick me up and call the emergency services. Just this
Yeah.
morning, we had a lad who'd I don't think he'd drank enough,
Mm.
and we were running up, and he was falling behind. So
Yeah.
I went to go and run with him.
Yeah.
And and he says, "Oh, just go ahead without me." I'm like, "No, I'm not leaving you. We'll run
Mm.
together." So
Yeah.
I ran with him, and then all of a sudden he stumbled, and I just managed to catch him before he fell.
Yeah.
And sort of that that creates a bond, which
Yeah.
you can't find that
Yeah.
any
Yeah.
other way.
Yeah. That's that sort of sense of community, and yeah, being in it together. And are there any other ways, like if you think about how F3 help men, like would you like to talk a little bit about that for anybody listening?
Yeah, so the exercise,
Mm.
that's part of it, but there's also the second F. So the first F is fitness. The
Yeah.
second F is fellowship. So it's about going out and doing things together. So
Mm.
we went out and watched a film together,
Yeah.
and then we shared some food together. Um, Starting to think about alcohol and
Right.
kind of when we should make an event. If an event has alcohol in it, we
Mm.
should
Mm.
specify that.
Yeah,
so that
yeah,
people can select whether that's something that they want to
sure.
come to or not.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
if someone doesn't want to do alcohol event, then by all means set something up. I'll
yeah,
come to it.
yeah,
If
yeah, yeah,
someone wants one and it's specifically alcohol based, then set it up.
yeah, yeah,
And then we can be really clear. Because
yeah, yeah.
we get Muslims coming.
Mm,
We might get people who have alcohol problems.
yeah, yeah,
So I think we need to be really intentional on whether that's something that's involved or not.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. I think that's a very valid point because again, like I have looked a lot into men's mental health, and often addiction can be one of the key issues as well
yeah,
as a way of managing their mental health because men tend to isolate much more compared to women and try to stay strong and don't want to tell people that they're struggling because of the stigma. A way of numbing that can be relying on drinks or drugs, and so there's that
mm,
sort of more higher risk of addiction, and then any sort of socializing. I know that people then, even though they want to do that and they know that can be helpful from a mental health point, sometimes they would avoid that because it's like, oh no, but they're going to be alcohol.
yeah, yeah,
And knowing that actually there's an option to almost like attend the events that's suitable for them if there's no alcohol, but leave the other ones out. It sounds really uh, a good balance.
yeah. Well, I mean, we want to appeal to all men, and
Mm.
some men won't leave the house unless there's a drink involved. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's like kind of how do we appeal to those guys
Yes.
and understand that there are people who don't want to engage in that.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so yeah, so that's something that I've really become conscious of.
Mm,
Um,
mm. Yeah, that's good. Sounds like there's something for everybody, really.
well, that's what we're aiming for.
Yeah, yeah. How did you get into F3 yourself?
So I heard a podcast about
Okay.
building tribe among men,
Mm,
and I thought it was really interesting.
yeah.
And I, the one of the things that struck me, because my dad was a really hands-on guy. He would just go
Mm,
out and deal with things. So
okay.
on one occasion, there was a police chase, and
Right.
he went out in his car and created a roadblock,
Yeah.
and kind of he just did things.
Mm,
and
mm.
and kind of I watched the podcast, and they were saying that in America, if a tree falls down, a group of men will get together and move the tree. But
Yeah.
in Europe, a tree falls down, a group of men will get together and form a committee to decide whose responsibility is to move the tree.
Yeah.
So, and it seemed to be like we need to get out more and just do things. And
Yes.
we'll make
Yes.
mistakes and there'll be failures, but
Yeah.
we need to understand failure is an essential ingredient in success. And I think a lot of men in the UK are so scared of failure
Mm,
that
mm.
they don't do nothing
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
don't do anything.
Yeah. I just listening to you, I'm just thinking that, the brotherhood, the tribe, is just like being in it together. There's a lot
Yeah,
of power and healing in that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think so. It's not. It's just doing hard things
Mm,
together.
mm. Yeah. Yeah.
Like we used to do it in like physical manual labor,
Mm.
and kind of now we don't do that.
No.
And I I just think
Yeah.
maybe that's part of what we maybe missing.
Yeah. Like even like from a psychology, mental health point, like our body, like even just going to exercise, people think like it's to do with physical activity, but there are things that's happening which are also good for your mental health, for your emotional health when you do exercise. So what you're
Mm.
talking about is again that sort of movement, uh moving your body basically.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. So you came across it through, just it's a little bit like how I came across you, just it sounds like a bit of a coincidence.
Yeah.
And yeah, so what would you say is the best thing about F3? Anything in
Um,
particular?
so the best thing about the F3 is it's unusual.
Mm,
I think I've grown up around a white working class area, council estate my entire life,
yeah,
and I feel but I've also been able to work with Muslims and also go to church and
mm,
see how things happen in church,
yeah,
and it feels like as a white working class, we've got rid of some really useful social rituals
yeah. Mm,
because they're branded as cultish.
right.
I spoke to a guy who deals with addiction. He works for addiction services,
Okay.
and he was telling me about accountability group.
Yeah,
Um, at at the end of their sessions, they have an accountability group, and
that's right.
he says he says it sounds cultish, and I'm like,
Mm,
well, that's kind of the problem is we've got these things that are really useful,
yeah.
and because there's an element of ritual to them, we
Mm,
brand them as you you know useless or
yeah.
controlling
Yeah.
or
Yeah. Yeah.
and 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 we throw them in the bin and we try and
Mm,
do things on our own. So
mm,
I just think the sort of F3 presses into rituals.
yeah.
When you come, you get a nickname. So the nicknames are really useful as well because kind of Jason likes to sit on a chair and eat his own body weight in cake, whereas my nickname is Van Damme. Van
Yeah.
Damme likes to go around and do
Martial arts.
hundreds of burpees.
Yeah.
So so you get like this sort of different identity,
Yeah.
um, and you get to share something to be thankful for in a huddle.
Yeah.
Now it's not specifically religious to be
Yeah.
thankful,
Yeah. Yeah.
but kind of it is something that religion has that kind
Mm,
of secular society doesn't have.
yeah. Yeah.
Um, so we get to do that, and we also have a specific F3 language.
Mm,
So in terms of press ups, we call press ups merkins, and
okay.
there's just all sorts of different language like that where
Okay.
it's kind of a bit of a game like Scouts. Scouts was
Yeah. Yeah.
designed as a game
Yeah. Yeah.
to encourage young people to
Yeah.
get out and exercise and engage with their community, and this is the same thing but for
Yeah.
adults.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really good. And it's needed. I think it's definitely needed. You mentioned religion, Jason, and I know like one of the F in the F3 stands for faith. And
Yeah,
I'm thinking for some people, like I actually work with clients who might also have had like religious trauma,
yeah.
and anything to do with ritual. It can be triggering or scary, and when they hear the word religion or faith, it's like very off-putting.
Hmm.
And I think it will really help people to understand a little bit more what the F in faith stand for, because it doesn't automatically mean religion as such. So, are you okay to talk a little bit about that? Explain that bit, maybe?
Yeah, so the faith element, it's not religious,
No.
so you don't have to have any specific religious affiliation
Mm,
to join F3.
okay.
Um, but the sort of faith element is just an encouragement to believe in something larger than yourself.
Yeah.
Um, I think this is used in like kind of addiction recovery to
Mm,
try and think outside yourself.
yeah.
A lot of the times when I'm doing stuff, I sometimes get too over focused on what's going on in my own head,
Yeah.
and I forget what my overall goal is.
Yeah.
Um, and having something outside that allows me to say, right, this
Mm,
this
mm,
is this is the real goal.
yeah. Yeah.
That I'm feeling a bit uncomfortable at the moment. That's fine. I
Yeah.
can overdo that because I'm reaching for something bigger.
Yeah.
A lot of the guys in Leeds, so I went over and trained with the guys in Leeds. I don't think any of the Leeds people have any sort of religion.
Right.
Um,
Okay.
but we've got atheists, we've got agnostics, we've had Muslims, Buddhists, um, all sorts of people come to
Yeah,
our
yeah,
location.
yeah,
So yeah, you can just believe in community. You can believe
yeah,
in your family,
yeah,
and that can be your what we call the third F.
yes,
Um,
yes.
but
Okay.
it's entirely up to you.
Yeah,
But we just encourage people to think beyond yourself, think outside yourself.
yes. That's really beautiful. I really love the fact that it's like people from all sort of ethnicity. I am from Asian minority background myself, so I just love the fact that it's like so diverse and accepting of anybody from any background, really.
Yeah, yeah. As well, we've got the Muslim guys. They're probably
Mm.
the fittest. Out of everyone we've had so far.
Yeah,
And yeah, they really engage with it well. And it's not what we do as well is we have discussions, so it's not religious, but it's not religious. So if
I,
someone wants to share something from their faith, then
mm,
they're fully
yeah,
able to do that. For me, as the sort of lead of the location,
mm,
I'm not gonna say anything that's
no,
specifically religious
no,
because I don't think it works as a top-down thing.
no,
If someone takes over me
yeah,
and I get to step down a peg,
yeah, yeah,
then
yeah,
maybe I'll share something, but
yeah,
I kind of avoid it
yeah,
if
yeah,
because I am aware of people's sensitivities.
yeah, yeah. No, that's good. So again, for anybody listening, just that's really, I hope that's really clear. Faith isn't exactly standing for religion here. It's anything
No,
you believe in, and anything that, like Jason just said, it could be your believing in your family or your own inner strength, anything like that. I think the last thing I would like to ask, Jason, before we finish is just, if for anybody watching and want to, listening and want to join F3, or maybe they might have some questions before they would like to join. What are the steps? Like, if you could maybe just talk through the steps and so people know.
the best thing to do is to Google F3 near me.
Okay.
Then you can find your nearest location. So there's locations all down south. There's 3 or 4 locations in Birmingham. There's some locations in Leeds. There's some in the northeast. So if you Google that, it'll tell you your closest location and the contact details for the person at that location.
Mm,
And yeah, or you can just if you are local to the Sheffield area, you can just go on the Facebook page and just message me or anyone from F3 and we'll get in touch with you.
yeah. Yeah, so just to clarify, the way I found Jason was through the Facebook page called F3 Yorkshire Sheffield. But like Jason just explained, it's not just in for anybody who might not be local. That there are other areas as well. It's not just Sheffield.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else before we finish you would like to add for people watching or listening?
Yeah, I think it's important. It's important that we say about. I'm really up on the what we call the six. So
Mm,
the last person. So for me, the last person is the most important person in
yeah,
in our group because that's the hardest place to be. You're
yeah,
running you're running at the back, and to
yeah,
keep going
yeah,
when everyone's ahead of you is hard.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
hard,
yeah,
and we need to acknowledge that.
yeah,
And I'm really proud of some of the guys in ours who are always last, but they keep going. They
yeah,
keep going,
yeah.
and they have a superpower.
Mm,
Because what they can do is they can say to people, "If I can do it, you can do it,"
yeah, yeah,
and
exactly.
that's such a powerful thing to have. If someone who doesn't look very fit says to
Yeah.
you, if I can do it, you can do it.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
lifts you. It lifts you.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I had it when I was at Leeds. Some
Yeah.
guys said to me, "Oh, if I can do it, you can do it,"
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it encouraged me to do more than I
Yeah.
would have done
Yeah.
if they hadn't said those words to me.
Yeah.
Um,
Sort of encouragement and hope, really, in a way as well. Yeah, we can.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, everyone has something to give. Everyone has something to give. It doesn't matter what you've done in the
Yeah.
past. It doesn't matter what you've gone through. Come to us. It doesn't matter if you're not very fit. That can change. I've seen
Yeah.
people change in 8 months. I've seen people change from um, you know, not being able to get out of bed to not being able to wait to get out of bed, signing up for events, signing up to
Yeah.
lead events, and
Yeah.
it transforms people.
Mm. Oh, that's so good. And that's the thing, isn't it? It's like those small baby steps. Um, like you just said, maybe just even getting out of bed is a big thing, but attending that first event and having such a positive experience, it it can help people to do more. And
Yeah,
it's again being part of that sort of community and sense of belonging. I can really hear that when you're talking about again being part of that sort of tribe.
yeah,
Thank you, Jason, for, I know you're really busy, so thank you for your time. And I will share this with everywhere, and hopefully there'll be more people um, getting to know about this wonderful work you do and be able to join.
yeah. Well, thank you very much for helping with that.
Thank you. No
All right,
worries. Thank
thanks.
you.
Bye.
Bye bye.